that my name is Gal and I'm Jewish, and we have had enough of Jew hatred.
Zegler also faced blowback after posting Free Palestine. Gadot is from Israel and served in the Israeli army.
We would see people not condemning Hamas, but celebrating, justifying, and cheering on a massacre of Jews.
The 2025 live-action remake of Snow White would have been newsworthy as Disney's next animated remake, but it became a cultural battleground and a study of how celebrity, fandom, and modern politics intersect. At its center stood two remarkable women. Rachel Zegler, the breakout star of West Side Story, tapped to embody the innocent heroine, and Gal Gadot, Hollywood's reigning action star, cast as the jealous evil queen. What should have been a celebration of creativity soon spiraled into a months-long saga of leaks, tweets, think pieces, and blistering headlines. It began with Zegler's comments in a festival Q&A in late 2023. Asked about her approach to Snow White, she described the 1937 original as passive and argued that a 2025 audience demanded a heroine who shaped her own destiny.
You've told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
I love the fairy tale, she added, but I don't love how it teaches girls to wait for rescue. That sentence, innocuous in context, unfurled like a red thread through the media. Within hours, fans uploaded clips, rewound them frame by frame, and mocked Zegler's phrasing on TikTok. Wait for rescue? Passive Snow White? Overnight, the hashtag number #NotMyPrincess trended across the platform. In early January, Teen Vogue published a timeline of the controversy, tracing Zegler's remarks back to earlier interviews in which she voiced frustration over being typecast. The article highlighted her belief that Snow White deserved more agency, a perfectly valid artistic position. But Teen Vogue also noted how, in the echo chamber of fandom, nuance is easily drowned by outrage. Quotes were excerpted without context. Humor was mistaken for disdain, skepticism for hostility. The piece closed by cautioning readers not to conflate a performer's critical eye with ingratitude. We have reached a point, the piece asserted, where nostalgia itself invites contempt. Yet time also acknowledged the sincerity of a generation grappling with outdated tropes. Zegler used the poisoned apple analogy to describe systemic oppression, which she had originally presented to explain the queen's cruel nature. The audience divided into two groups regarding her actions, with some fans supporting her discussion-stimulating approach, while others labeled her actions as excessive. The YouTuber created a viral debate between elitist snowflakes and old-school fans, which generated thousands of comments. Memes showed Snow White's pure image next to Zegler's strong statement, which solidified the perception of her as an ungrateful diva. The day before production started, an unauthorized audio recording surfaced, which showed Zegler expressing her exhaustion from being famous outside of camera view. The authentic expression of frustration from Zegler received both negative and positive reactions from the public. The media presented two different perspectives about Zegler through their headlines, which included Starlet's outrageous demands and Champion of youthful empowerment. The distinction between professional analysis and unprofessional criticism became indistinct. During the spring 2024 press tours, Disney faced a challenging situation with their promotional efforts. The promotional materials showcased elaborate costumes and additional background stories about the dwarfs. The promotional interviews suffered from the dominance of direct inquiries regarding Zegler's previous statements. The executives released statements about the film's progressive vision, but these statements only made the situation worse. Gal Gadot enters the scene. People magazine conducted an interview with Gadot in mid-March when tabloids were demanding a response from the evil queen, which completely transformed the situation. She started by praising the incredible talent Rachel brings to the role, and she praised the film's thematic updates. Snow White's resourcefulness, the dwarfs' restored backstories, and a new subplot exploring the cost of obsession. Then, pivoting, Gadot delivered her core message. We're here to tell a story, to transport audiences into a world of wonder. Any noise beyond that distracts from the heart of the tale. Gadot never made a firebrand declaration, so she focused on the process of making the film. The months she spent in motion capture suits with the dwarfs' performers, the painstaking recreation of the forest's architecture, the care taken to honor the original's spirit while inviting new perspectives. She invited viewers behind the curtain. Watch our crafting of that poisoned apple, the way we used real chemistry to achieve the glittering glaze. By centering the artistry, Gadot implicitly undercut the idea that the film was a vehicle for ideological battle. Cultural critics took note. The cut hailed Gadot's response as a masterclass in star-powered diplomacy. The outlet observed that rather than publicly admonish Zegler, Gadot chose to elevate collective effort, implicitly inviting fans to appreciate the collaborative nature of movie-making. Her words provided a shield, the article argued, one that allowed Zegler space to refine her approach without being cast aside. Meanwhile, Variety reported an immediate bump in ticket pre-sales. The marketing emails shifted their content from character posters to show behind-the-scenes featurettes, which included interviews with lead animators and deep dives into set construction and environmental design spotlights. The deadline later verified that the strategic change brought back momentum at the exact moment when it had reached a standstill. According to unnamed sources, Disney executives attributed the successful rollout to Gadot's intervention. The perfect balance, according to some observers, remained a topic of debate regarding Gadot's achievement. Several Twitter and TikTok users criticized Gadot for maintaining Disney's financial interests instead of solving fundamental issues. The critics maintained that she missed an opportunity to develop meaningful discussions about female representation in film. The University of Southern California conducted a survey of 1,200 Disney fans in mid-June, which revealed that 64% became more enthusiastic about the film after Gadot's interview. Yet, 28% had planned to avoid the remake because of previous controversies. The research showed that viewers older than 30 expressed positive feelings toward Gadot's experienced approach, but the younger audience divided between supporting Zegler's advocacy and disliking the first statements. The red carpet interviews brought back positive feelings as premiere night drew near. Zegler walked the red carpet wearing a dress that featured designs from the dwarf's workshop, while Gadot donned a cape that resembled the queen's royal shape. The earlier tension between them faded into a memorable part of the film's backstory as photographers snapped photos of them sharing laughter. The press inquired about Zegler's learning experience from Gadot. Would Gadot give advice to future collaborators? Both actresses delivered the same message about teamwork magic, which now embodied the extensive cultural dialogue from months ago. The Gadot-Zegler controversy established a permanent position in Hollywood's approach to resolving problems involving famous actors. PR firms demonstrate through this example that when a well-known celebrity transforms controversy into an artistic discussion, they can achieve balance. Film schools added the Gadot-Zegler case to their educational materials, while communication workshops studied the exact words she used to discuss art instead of politics. Zegler used this experience to develop into a more mature person. She discussed her newfound understanding in subsequent interviews about how to deliver constructive criticism and the power of fan devotion and the importance of intergenerational respect. The 2025 Snow White remake demonstrates how storytelling endures through time while showing the intricate relationships between artists and audiences in the media industry. Fairy tales survive through time because they transform while occasionally needing to handle public image challenges instead of plot developments. Through their work, Rachel Zegler broke traditional boundaries, while Gal Gadot provided a connection to wonder, thus demonstrating that the most powerful stories emerge from the intersection of artistic expression and real-world experiences.